I've been watching many Vim talks trying to explain the benefit of using Vim over the regular text editors and motivate people to invest their time and effort into learning Vim to get an exponentially growing productivity as a result benefit. The main idea behind Vim is to automate regular text editing tasks by mastering some basic commands and potentially using plugins to speed up the editing process. However, the downside is the learning curve. One needs to spend a lot of time and effort to turn a regular Vim text editing practice to a level where it's really worth it. Now what if I tell you that you can get the power of Vim without a need to learn anything about the text editor? The idea is very simple. Text editing features are all about maintaining the buffer and positioning the cursor. In Py, you can do it programmatically from built-in Python shell and then store your scripts as plugins or bindings in the configuration file. Now let's consider a simple task, getting all the occurrences of a given text and replace them with a new string. In Python, this can be achieved as simple as saying string.replace old text with a new text. Py provides the set of global variables allowing you to manipulate editor's internal state by changing the buffer's content, repositioning the cursor, etc. Let's take the previous example and see how it works in action. Say we want to replace all the occurrences of a string in a given row. If you open this readme file with Py, press Ctrl E to activate Python shell and run the above line of the shell, you'll get word bin on the line 5 replaced with word considered. All good, but writing such one-liners on the fly can be a pain. Moreover that if they contain errors, you'll get notified, but it won't work. So there is another option. Once you've debugged the one-liner, you can store it into the bindings.json file and either call it by considering a key combination or invoking directly from the Python command prompt. You can also write multiple plugins and store them into the bindings.json file as well. To illustrate the above principle, let's perform the find and find next task with a pre-built feature. Press Ctrl E to enter command line, type rec equals vim. This would init editor's internal variable rec with a search word, hit enter, then Ctrl F. Press Ctrl G if you want to find the next matches. As mentioned earlier, you can also run plugins by invoking them directly in the shell. For instance, to exit from Py, you can either press Ctrl Z or press Ctrl E and type the following line. If you have a look at navigation bindings like Ctrl Home or Page Up, you'll notice that they are altering cursor's position by setting the values to variables R, row, and C, col. Cursor position can also be manipulated directly from the command prompt. The reason why different variables are used to manipulate the cursor position from plugins and shell is because from plugins it gets altered directly, while in the shell it goes to the previously stored cursor location. Now imagine how many things you can do with this setup. Here is just a few examples. Cutting, copying, pasting customly selected blocks of text like Vim does in visual mode. Bulk variable initialization. Execute operating system commands and managing their outputs. Or even make an HTTP request to a certain URL and pasting its response into a buffer. I understand all this sounds like a do-it-yourself text editor, but this is what Py essentially is. You can customize and extend it however you want.